Sustainability and global economic challenges. The 21st century is a pivotal period, characterized by the convergence of sustainability concerns and global economic challenges. As nations worldwide pursue economic advancement to improve the living standards of their populations, they simultaneously face pressing environmental issues such as climate change, biodiversity loss, and resource depletion. These environmental challenges are compounded by significant social issues, including pervasive income inequality, gender disparities, and limited social mobility. Balancing the pursuit of economic growth with the imperatives of environmental stewardship and social justice is essential to ensure a sustainable and equitable future for all. This essay examines the intricate relationship between environmental sustainability and economic growth, explores the impacts of climate change and resource depletion within the context of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and delves into the multifaceted nature of inequality and its implications for economic development, focusing on income inequality, gender disparities, and social mobility. 1. Environmental sustainability and economic growth. Economic growth has traditionally been measured by metrics such as gross domestic product (GDP), which do not account for environmental degradation or depletion of natural capital. The pursuit of growth, especially in industrialized nations, has often led to significant environmental harm, including pollution, deforestation, and greenhouse gas emissions. This model is increasingly recognized as unsustainable, prompting a reevaluation of how economic success is defined and achieved. Environmental sustainability emphasizes the need for economic development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This concept calls for integrating environmental considerations into economic, planning, and decision-making processes. Sustainable economic growth can be facilitated by investing in renewable energy, transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources, reduces carbon emissions and mitigates climate change. Investments in solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal energy not only protect the environment, but also create jobs and stimulate technological innovation. Promoting energy efficiency, enhancing energy efficiency in industries, buildings, and transportation can significantly reduce energy consumption and environmental impact. Implementing standards and incentives for energy-efficient technologies encourages businesses and consumers to adopt sustainable practices. Implementing sustainable agriculture, sustainable farming practices, such as organic agriculture, agroforestry, and precision farming, help preserve soil health, reduce chemical use, and increase biodiversity. These practices contribute to food security and rural development. Adopting the circular economy model, shifting from a linear take, make, dispose model to a circular economy, involves designing products for longevity, repairability, and recyclability. This approach minimizes waste, reduces resource extraction, and promotes sustainable consumption patterns. Enforcing environmental regulations, governments play a crucial role by establishing and enforcing regulations that limit pollution, protect ecosystems, and manage natural resources responsibly. Policies such as carbon pricing and environmental taxes internalize the environmental costs of economic activities. 2. Climate change, resource depletion, and sustainable development goals. SDGs. Climate change, driven by human activities that release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, poses significant threats to global economies and ecosystems. Its impacts include Agricultural disruption. Changes in temperature and precipitation patterns affect crop yields, threatening food security, especially in vulnerable regions. Sea level rise. Melting polar ice caps and glaciers contribute to rising sea levels, endangering coastal communities and infrastructure. Extreme weather events. Increased frequency and severity of hurricanes, droughts, and floods result in loss of life, property damage, and economic disruptions. Resource depletion further exacerbates these challenges. Overconsumption and unsustainable extraction of resources like minerals, forests, and freshwater lead to scarcity, environmental degradation, and conflicts over resource access. The Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) offer a holistic framework to address these interconnected challenges. Key goals related to climate change and resource management include SDG 6 Clean Water and Sanitation aims to ensure the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. SDG 7 Affordable and Clean Energy promotes access to reliable, sustainable, and modern energy sources. SDG 12 Responsible Consumption and Production encourages sustainable consumption and production patterns to reduce ecological footprints. SDG 13 Climate Action urges immediate action to combat climate change and its impacts. SDG 15 Life on Land focuses on sustainably managing forests, combating desertification, and halting biodiversity loss. Achieving these goals requires international cooperation. Climate change and resource depletion are global issues that necessitate collaborative efforts. Agreements like the Paris Agreement aim to limit global warming through nationally determined contributions. Technological innovation. Advancements in technology can provide solutions for clean energy, efficient resource use, and environmental conservation. Financial investment. Mobilizing financial resources to fund sustainable projects, particularly in developing countries, is critical. Mechanisms like the Green Climate Fund support such initiatives. Policy alignment. National policies must align with SDG targets, integrating sustainability into economic planning and legislation. 3. Inequality and economic development. Inequality undermines economic development by restricting the potential of a significant portion of the population. When resources and opportunities are concentrated among a small elite, overall economic growth can stagnate due to reduced consumer spending and innovation. Inequality manifests in various forms. Economic inequality. Disparities in income and wealth distribution lead to unequal access to resources necessary for personal development. Educational inequality. Limited access to quality education hampers skill development and reduces employability, perpetuating poverty cycles. Healthcare inequality. Health disparities affect productivity and quality of life, influencing economic participation. To address inequality in economic development, strategies include redistributive policies. Progressive taxation and social welfare programs can reduce income disparities and provide safety nets for the vulnerable. Inclusive education. Investing in education at all levels ensures that individuals have the skills needed for the modern economy. Universal access to education promotes equal opportunities. Healthcare access. Providing affordable and accessible healthcare improves population health, increasing productivity and reducing economic burdens from illness. Labor market reforms. Ensuring fair wages, safe working conditions, and rights to collective bargaining empowers workers and reduces exploitation. 4. Income inequality, gender disparities, and social mobility. Income inequality. Income inequality has been rising in many countries, fueled by factors such as globalization, technological advancements favoring skilled over unskilled labor, and policy decisions that favor capital over labor. The top percentile of earners captures a disproportionately large share of income, while wages for lower-income workers stagnate. Gender disparities. Gender inequality remains a significant barrier to economic and social development. Women face obstacles such as wage gaps. Women are often paid less than men for equivalent work, contributing to income inequality. Limited career advancement, glass ceilings, and lack of representation in leadership positions limit women's economic influence. Unpaid care work. Women disproportionately bear the burden of unpaid household and caregiving responsibilities, limiting their participation in the formal economy. Addressing gender disparities involves equal pay legislation, enforcing laws that mandate equal pay for equal work, workplace policies, implementing family-friendly policies such as maternity and paternity leave, flexible working hours, and child care support. Education and empowerment, encouraging girls' education and women's participation in STEM fields, expands opportunities and breaks down gender stereotypes. Social mobility. Social mobility is essential for economic dynamism and fairness. Low social mobility indicates that an individual's socioeconomic status is heavily influenced by their parents' status, rather than their abilities or efforts.